You're welcome to today's class. Today, we are going to do something a bit different from the normal class that I've been doing. So today, I'm going to take our time to explain my channel to those of you who are just joining us in this journey. So my channel is rEst, right? So this is my channel name, rEst. Now, why do I name it rEst? Growing up, I was introduced to religion at an early age. And in school, I studied electrical electronics. I majored in electronics. And I have spent the past 2 decades studying computer. And I came to the conclusion that there is actually nothing different with them. There is no conflict between religion, science, and technology. So that is what gave birth to this name. Now, so the RES stands for what? Religion. Religion. The S stands for science. And then this T is what? Technology. Right? But what is common to these three is what? Energy. I will explain this as we go on. So this is what is common. So that is why you are having this E as uppercase, while the rest are small letters. Now, I'm teaching you programming language because in the world of my own concept, in the concept of my world, I am trying to show you that the spoken word, what you are saying, they are using a language to communicate. Now, in the realm of computer, at the stage we are now in learning C language, I want to show you storage classes, right? Storage classes and the memory layout. Memory layout, which means we have come towards the physical dimension. Now, when you write a source code, which is the program you write using your programming language. That source code is compiled, like in the case of C, is compiled into a executable file that is stored in the hard drive. Now, the moment you launch it, it will be loaded into the memory. Now, this memory has different layers. So you have this. So this side, we have command line argument, right? We have environment variable, right? We have stack, we have heap, then here we have uninitialized data, we have initialized data, and then we have code/text segment. Now, this is your memory layout. Memory layout. So, which is like the physical world. So, when you write your source code, which is the program we have been writing using our C language, for example, I've taught you Python. When you write the source code and you compile it, and then you launch it, it will be loaded into this place as what? The instruction. But the variables that you are going to have, for example, if I have something like this, let's say I say include stdio.h, and then I say void auto example, right? And then I say auto int num, and I assign 10 to it. Then I will say printf num equals to percentage %d, let's say /n, then num, right? Then I close this. Then I say int main, and I call this auto example, right? Um, then I say return 0, and I close this here. So this is my program. Now, this is what you call source code, right? It is going to be compiled into an executable file. When you launch it, this will be loaded into this memory. But how will you know how to locate this guy in this memory and how to locate this guy in this memory? It's going to use what you call storage classes. So these storage classes are 4, right? The first one is what? We are going to look at the externs. The second one, we are going to look at statics. The third one, we are going to look at registers. And then the fourth one, we are going to look at auto, which in this case I have used here. So these storage classes is what will help the compiler to know how to categorize this your source code into the memory layer. Now, what now happens is when you launch the program and it's loaded into the memory, we still have what we call the CPU in the computer, the central processing unit. Now, this CPU is made up of what? Trillions of transistors. So in electronics, a transistor simply has this shape, a shape like this, right? Transistor has this shape. This is what it has. So here you call it the collector, here you call it the emitter, and then here you call it the base, right? The CPU is going to come to the memory to pick instruction, which will be stored in this code or text segment. And that instruction will carry variables like this. This is a variable, and this is an integer. So this auto is telling you where you are going to store this value, whether it is in the stack or in the heap or in the environment or wherever. I'm still going to show you all this. Now, what the CPU does is that it will take this instruction at this point, which is this base, and what you are going to send to the circuit. For example, you have your television. If you have not plugged that television to power source, it will remain. Inside that television, there are components, electronics components, or your computer, there are electronics components. If you have not plugged that computer to power source, there is an IC called integrated circuit. All these things there is a memory. All these things that we are looking at has instruction, which is this program inside of it. But until you plug it to a power source, it will not come alive. So which means he breathed into man and man became a living soul. That is you plugging that computer to a power source and you press the on button for electricity to come in. So what is actually happening in reality is that the electricity gets to the collector, right? It gets to the collector of this transistor. Then the instruction is coming to the base, telling this guy how to open the pipe. So which means this transistor is like this. This is a pipe, and then this. So you are putting a valve here, and then you are controlling this valve to either open for this electricity to flow through, or you close it for it not to flow through. So what is actually happening is that the output is what is coming from this electricity. This electricity that is coming in, the output. But this instruction, which is your source code that you have written, is at the base now controlling how this guy open or close for electricity to flow through. So this electricity is what is carrying the energy. Now it's deeper, it's more than the scope of this class, but I'm just trying to show you how this your source code eventually becomes an instruction to your central processing unit to control the electricity which carries the energy, what, to carry out a lot of activities in the physical world. So that is what I want to teach you. That is what I'm trying to get you to understand. So in explaining this extern, statics, register, the auto, this can also be used to what? To control the operation of a society. So let's look at them. This first guy, which is what? Extern. This is what? Storage classes. We call them storage classes. Now, in this place, you are having things like what? Religion. You are having things like what? Science, constitution of a country, right? Philosophy, right? So all these can be found in this realm, extern. So what you are saying is, we give you the laws. We are not restricted to one community. Whatever we say is applicable to everybody. That is that. We are going to see it, and you are going to see I'm going to use it in programming. Then we have the statics. These guys, they are like what? Family. Um, uh, Tradition, right? You can find them here. Then we have the registers. So this one you are looking at in a company, you are looking at the CEO. You are looking at the government, right? Then you have the auto, which is the fourth one. You are looking at the workers. Now, if there is any failure in any of these parts, then that society will be what? Corrupt. Meaning you will not have the truth output that is required. So each of them must be available and they must work in alignment in order to give you a truthful society. So what we are doing and what I'm trying to achieve with my class is what? Manifestation in reality using programming as a guide. That is what I'm trying to achieve in my class. So I am about rounding up C language and then moving into other areas like C++ as another language, data structure and algorithm, and even mathematics as a language. Those are the new series I'm going to work on. But to conclude C language, I need to take you through this extern using programming, using code, and then these memory layers, how these affect this, and then how the CPU comes to this place to pick the instruction that is now used to control the breath, which is what? The electricity, the energy that is coming in to drive technology. That is the goal of my class. So if I make any sense in this class, please stay with me. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and also click on that subscribe button so that as I release more videos, you'll be able to see where I am going to with my classes. So till we see in the next class on all this, bye-bye.